Anthony Hartwig, Ty Bartell here with a very special Lakeview Coaches Corner with Lakeview Baseball head coach Cameron Carson. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, like we like to do with all of our area teams, we always like to start off with a meet the team session. So go ahead and shout out those players that are going to be turning some heads in Bulldog country, as well as some younger players that you think are going to be surprising some people this year.
Yeah, we have a really good group coming back this year. We're a veteran-led team for sure. We have 6 seniors, 5 juniors, and 10 sophomores, as well as 6 freshmen. So we got a good group. Numbers are good this year. Jake Williams is a guy that's going to lead the charge for us, senior, second baseman. He was first team all-conference last year, batted .395, had 13 RBIs. We're going to expect a lot from him, both at the plate and on the mound. We got Cal Rink, another senior. He was a second team all-conference guy last year, batted .411, had 16 RBIs. He's been huge for us in the offseason, kind of setting the tone, taking that leadership role. So definitely excited about him. Ty Capan can be our shortstop, junior. He was another second team all-conference guy last year. So excited to have those 3 guys, as well as Andrew McRoberts, going to be our center fielder, going to hold it together out there in the outfield for us. So excited about him. He batted .403 last year. Alex Stowe, our catcher, another guy, batted .354 last year, was a key part of their lineup last year, I know. So excited about him. And then kind of newcomers, Andrew Brown is sophomore. We're expecting a lot from him on the mound. He's looked really good so far in his pens and some of his sessions. So he's kind of like our newcomer that we're looking forward to. And then, like I said, we got a big group of sophomores. So there's a couple other guys in that group that are going to contribute for us. We also got a freshman coming up that's competing for a spot. So definitely excited about that group of guys.
I mean, we're in about maybe a week of practice, and then next week will be scrimmages, and then here comes the season. As you kind of look at your roster, you look at what you got, you start to see what the team's going to look like. What are some goals that you guys are going to set as a coaching staff this season for this team, and what are the expectations that you have of Bulldogs baseball?
Yeah, so obviously this being my first year here, first year teaching, first year coaching here, just kind of like trying to change the culture around. Build the program, how I envision it being built. And like I've mentioned before, we're a veteran-heavy team, so having those seniors here in the off-season workouts and just as practice has been getting started, those guys have been huge for me. They go a long way in helping us develop the program that we're trying to develop. So we're just trying to set a culture of winning here, whether that's in the classroom, on the field, when they go outside and they're doing things in the community. So just trying to set high goals there, and then just expect to win. We're a hungry bunch. We got a lot of potential, a lot of good guys on this team, a lot of good baseball players. So obviously, some of our goals, we want to compete for a conference title. I know we're kind of a dark horse. I think we're kind of flying under the radar right now, but I think like early on the season, we're gonna put ourselves on the map and kind of be a team that teams have to game plan around and kind of think about when they got Lakeview coming up on the schedule. So we're just trying to turn some heads early, obviously compete for the conference, and then, always want to make a run at the district. I feel like we got a group of guys that can definitely do that. Our district is one of the toughest around, but I feel like, if we have our head on straight, we play how I think our guys are going to play, I think we got a good shot.
Talking about the conference you play in with that Northeastern 8, just talk about faring against these teams inside the NE8, and who do you think is going to be the teams that kind of stand in the way of you guys accomplishing that conference championship?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say any team's going to stand in our way. I think that we're going to dictate kind of how we do in the conference. So we'll take on anybody. But obviously, everybody's kind of chasing South Range. They've set the standard for the last couple of years. Niles, that's where I was at before this. I know they have a good group coming back. They got a lot of seniors themselves, so always chasing them. Poland, that's another team. They're always competitive in the league. So those guys are in the top, but I think that, like I mentioned before, I think that we're going to be knocking on the door. I really think that we can compete with any of those teams. I think that we got a good shot to beat any of those teams. I don't know if anybody like preseason poll is picking us to win the conference, but that's definitely a goal that we have in mind and something we really feel like we can accomplish. So like I said, I don't think anybody's going to stand in our way. I think that we're going to dictate some of that. So just kind of going for that and taking them head on.
Coach, with your first year in the program and you have a lot of returning seniors and veterans on this group, how important has it been that they buy into what you're trying to sell as a team so all the younger kids can buy into the culture and the philosophy that you said that you're trying to build here in Lakeview? How important has it been to see your veterans kind of buy into what you're selling?
Oh, it's been huge because, once all the young guys see the seniors, see the juniors buying into what we're doing, they just follow suit. I really, from the beginning, I've had great numbers. The first off-season workout we had a lot of buy-in from everybody 9 to 12, which has been awesome for me. They've made my job easy. Me and my assistant coaches, we've been preaching like we want to the seniors and some of the juniors, like we want you guys to handle a lot of the in-house stuff. Like we're kind of trying to set the precedent. And then like behind the scenes, we want you guys to be the ones that are like enforcing it and making sure that everybody's on the same page, pulling the rope the same direction. So those seniors have been huge for me. I got a really good group of seniors with a lot of playing experience. It's kind of a different feel from what they've been used to. I think, like I said, I'm trying to set the expectation higher, just build a culture. So I think that they've responded well to that. We've put a lot of hard work, both in off-season workouts and the first couple of weeks of practice here. So I think that just us showing them that we're all in, we're going to do whatever it takes to win. We expect to win. I think that's went a long way for those guys.
We obviously talked about the tough Northeastern A Conference schedule that you guys have, but what are some non-conference games that you guys were able to squeeze into this schedule that that Lakeview fans can look forward to catching this season?
Yeah, we got a nice little non-conference schedule. We got Fitch twice coming up, so those guys are always tough. They always compete, so that'll be some good experience for us. I think those will be 2 games that help us really prepare for the district. So I'm excited to play them. We got Ursuline twice, so they're always competitive. They got Shannon over there, so. Great player. They've had a good program over the years. So Ursuline's going to be a good test for us. We got Howland right up the road. That's kind of like a mini rivalry. Just being my first year here, like I've kind of learned about that early. Just Howland's kind of one that we always like to go get. We also got Champion, who's another one of our rivals. So we're kind of looking forward to that. So like our out of conference is pretty tough, and I think that's going to go a long way getting us ready for the district.
All right. So when you look at, you as a coach, this is your first year at Lakeview. Talk about your coaching journey in baseball and kind of what got you to this point and what makes you love the sport so much.
Yeah. So obviously baseball got my whole life. It's been my favorite sport since I was a little kid. I graduated from Niles, and like after I graduated, Mike and TC Gennari over there, they had always been on me about coaching when I was in high school and I was playing for them. So they gave me my start. So I owe a lot of what I know to those guys. They've been awesome to me. They've treated me well. They've took me under their wing and got me ready kind of to run my own program and to be where I'm at now. So I owe those guys a lot of credit for getting me ready for where I am today. But I coached 4 years over there. Learned a lot from those guys. Was just constantly picking their brain, learn that style of play. And then I got a couple years of experience down at Scene Park with Class B. So that's been something that again has got me ready to be where I'm at. So I've got to kind of have a relationship with a lot of guys down there and just be able to pick coaches' brains, learn different styles of play, interact with a bunch of different players. So that's kind of what's got me to this point. And this is always being a head coach is always something that I've looked forward to. That I've kind of dreamed about, and I've been telling people, they've been asking me, it's like I feel right at home here at Lakeview. This is exactly where I want to be. Like I've had support from so many people here, and the kids have bought in right away, and I think we got a hungry bunch that's ready to go. So I think it couldn't have worked out any better for me ending up here. And I'm excited to build a program for a long time down the road here.
Just to kind of go a little bit further in depth with that Cortland community, I mean, they're kind of on an island, but we hear a lot about this Cortland community and how hardcore they are for their sports. Just talk about the support that you guys have had too, and just the support Lakeview baseball, it seems like gets in your short experience with it.
Yeah, I got to coach football this year here too, which kind of got me introduced to some of that community love for sports and just the buy-in to the program. So I think that's something we need to establish just as a school and as a community is just having that expectation for winning and expect nothing but the best out of the kids that we have, out of the families that we have. There's just been so many people that have just been interested in what we're doing and interested in our kids that they buy into our kids. They support the kids. They want the kids to do well. They want us as coaches to do well. So I think a lot of families, there's a lot of tight-knit families here. There's a lot of people that want to see Lakeview be successful. And I think that it's just been huge, just seeing the sport, like whether it's people reaching out to me, people supporting the program, coming out to games. I know we just got off basketball season. Our gym was packed pretty much every week. So there was a lot of people there supporting the basketball program. We had a lot of people supporting the football program in the fall. So I'm hoping that carries over into the spring here. I know we got like a little student section group kind of started here this year at Lakeview. So the student body support has went up, and that's been awesome. It just changes the atmosphere. And I've been on these guys in class saying baseball games, you could really change the atmosphere of a baseball game because you're not used to seeing a student section at a baseball game. So if we could get some kids out to some baseball games and support these guys, I think that'll help us out.
Biggest boost, it's free.
Yeah, right. It's free. It's easy.
Coach, before we let you go, highlight the people that you've brought on your staff, the people that are going to help build this Lakeview program. I know head coaches can't do it themselves, so talk about the people that are helping you along the way and some of the staff that you've put together.
Yeah, so I'll start off with Dylan Keller. He's a Highland graduate, played Dayton for a couple years, pitcher. He's been he's been huge for me. I was lucky to get him on my staff. I had a relationship with him. I coached him his senior year in high school down at Class B, so that's kind of how I was introduced to Dylan. And then we played together AA league in the summer, so we just built that relationship over a couple years. And I reached out to him early on, and I was just like, hey, would you be interested in coaching with me? He said, absolutely, and he's been here ever since. He's been great with our pitchers so far in developing those guys and getting them ready to be really good pitchers here for the season. Like we've talked about on here already, we got that tough conference schedule to go through. We got some really good out-of-conference games, so we need those guys to be ready to go. And he's developed a lot of depth in our pitching staff, which has been awesome. He's also helped me out with my infielders, and he's been huge in that regard too. Another guy I brought on, Kyle Payton. He's went to Niles with me. He coaches football in Mineral Ridge, basketball at Niles, and now he's here with me coaching baseball. So he does a little bit of everything. He just came on after basketball ended, and he's been huge. It's just nice. He stepped in. He was comfortable right away. So it's been nice having him. He'll work with my outfielders at the varsity level. So just having him on, somebody I'm familiar with, somebody that knows the game, knows what they're talking about, knows how to work with kids. It's been huge. And then I have Dean Shanauer, who is a teacher here at Lakeview as well. He'll be my JV coach, and he's really been huge for me in the off season here. He's been with me every step of the way. As soon as I got hired here as a teacher, he expressed interest in me about coaching with me and joining my staff. So I'm always down in his room picking his brain about like what we're going to do for the day. Like what does he think about this guy? What does he think about that guy? And it's just nice having somebody in the building, somebody who would talk with on a daily basis and kind of playing around like what we want to do for practice that day or what I'm thinking about a lineup and things like that. And then one more guy, DJ Morvay. He's a Lakeview graduate. I played baseball with him in high school down in Class B. He's been a volunteer guy for me. So he's got a tough work schedule, but he's been here with me. He's been here every chance he gets. And he's been good, just having somebody in that Lakeview community come back and help out the program, because that's always a sign of success when you have guys that want to come back and want to help out the program. That's huge. So those guys have really helped me out. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now without those guys.
Coach, thank you so much for your time and giving us a little bit of insight into this Lakeview baseball program, as we look forward to covering you all season and hopefully talking to you again real soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.